was billed as the ultimate sports podcast.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
Everybody has been waiting.
I'm God gifted.
He's a bull. I'm a matador.
This is the Weekend Guy Podcast, and it begins now.
Yeah, man.
It's the Weekend Guys.
Yeah. No, it's the Weekend Guys. We're back. Yeah. This segment is kind of a sore topic.
Yeah.
You know,
for all South Africans who follow cricket.
And it's going to be quite a long segment now that I think about it, because me and you spoke about this thing.
We have to unpack.
Yeah, we have to unpack it slowly but surely.
Yeah.
We spoke about this thing on Monday last week.
Yeah.
That Tema Bavuma should not play that match.
And I said he must play.
You said he must play, yes. Yeah, well, and the most painful thing about being proven right is that...
at what cost?
At what cost does this thing come with? Because, you know, those guys, for them to be specific, Coach Notemba fucked up. He fucked up. We are busy sugarcoating nonsense here. Here's the reason why I'm saying these things, Sihle.
Preach.
He was injured.
He wasn't 100%.
He admitted this point further in the pre-game toss.
Yeah.
That I'm not 100%. So now, what kind of organization or team are you running which says to the upcoming players, on-form players, that no, regardless whether the captain is performing or not, he's God, basically. That's what it means. If you cannot drop an injured player, meaning that means that that player is God. He's undroppable.
Yeah. Look, you know, for me, I want to defend Temba and the coaching staff, right? But they make it so hard when we've lost, right? Because on principle, as sportsmen back in our days, and for people who are currently in sports teams, right? You put the best team forward, right? And having the best team forward is not necessarily meaning just the best players only, right?
Okay, so let me interrupt you.
The players who are fit too.
Yeah, let me interrupt you a bit before you go too far forward. Okay. I'm gonna go to our scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, so we play hockey, guys. We're hockey playing guys. This guy is the captain of the team. Okay, which is fine. Now, are you telling me that if you're injured, or you're slightly injured, or you got a slight limp, you're forced to play a game because you're the captain?
No, and hence why, if you recall, in our previous podcasts, right, I was like, the call needs to come from Temba, knowing well that the coach will back him, right, to play, but he needed to choose the unselfish route and say, look, guys, I'm not 100%. I don't want to jeopardize the prospects of success. Let me save myself to the final.
Yes, because that's what we said. That's what I said to you.
Yeah.
That
it was a big call that was made.
You need to make
2 years in a row we've made the wrong one.
You need to make the call which is going to be for the team.
Yeah.
Not for the individual.
Indeed.
Siya Kolisi in the semi-final England match pulled off at halftime, panicking.
Yeah.
Why? That was a team call.
Team call.
But remember, the nice thing about rugby is that you can pull off the play at halftime
and have a replacement.
But in cricket...
No. Can I actually add to your point, though?
Yeah.
Right? We'll use our current world champions. At the time of team selection to go to the World Cup, Andre Pollard was not fit.
Yes.
And he stayed.
He's cut off.
Very, very controversial, but a big call. But for the sake of the team, he wasn't fit. So we've got a principle that we have to uphold.
So we don't have, in cricket, the coaching staff or the whatever organization.
Yeah, we'll call them
we
the
don't
coaching
have
staff.
an organization which... if they continue with this current trend, in the next 4 World Cups, we won't win them.
Oh no, don't go far. 2027, we're
We won't
hosting
win
the World Cup.
Even if
We are
even if
hosting
Even
2027.
if we host the World Cup, we won't win the World Cup. Because what happens in sports, ne? There's 2 different types of aspects in sport, ain't? There's the playing team, ne?
Yeah,
And then there's the management.
yeah,
This is why you have a coach and players.
yes,
The coach is supposed to make the difficult decisions. So the coach is supposed to have the foresight for the team.
yeah,
To say, okay, guys, I'm seeing it this way, and I am the coach.
yes.
So, Temba, you are not 100%, you are sitting this one out.
Nothing personal.
Do you understand what I'm saying? These kind of decisions have an impact on the other players coming after him.
Yeah,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Because now what Temba has built, and I saw his interview at Or Tambo, the most arrogant shit I've ever heard from any player saying whatever he was saying. But
he had his back to the wall, so he had to hit back at the haters and
yes,
detractors.
we are hitting back at us, basically. So I'm saying to you that in order to build the mentality of a winning team,
Yeah,
there has to be Alex Ferguson, mate. There has to be a Pep Guardiola, a Rassi Erasmus, an elite coach chosen as an elite coach, like your Gary Keston.
yeah. Also, someone who's not afraid to make
The tough calls, man.
call.
To make the tough calls. Is injured.
Yeah,
How can you justify this thing and say the correct decision was made when an injured captain played and scored
I
a
think
duck?
to all our viewers and people who are going to share this, take note. We haven't mentioned the runs.
No,
This
we
is
haven't.
purely based on availability and to
Yes.
perform at 100%.
Yes, that's
And-
all it is.
And funny enough, in my watching sports during the weekend, I then caught Pat Cummins' interview after they won the final, right?
Yeah.
And he said something interesting that stuck with me, right? And to quote him, he said, "You don't wait to win the World Cup. You go and win the World Cup."
Yes.
Right? And take that in the scenario of our semi-final, right? Yeah. So Pat Cummins had an interesting saying after they won the World Cup, He said, "You don't wait to win a World Cup. You go and win the World Cup."
Yes.
Which for me was very profound because in that semi-final setting, right, we waited to win a World Cup by going to our tried and tested, even though we knew that people were not 100% fit. To go and win a World Cup, you make those tough choices.
Yes.
You make those tough choices.
7-1. It's a 7-1
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And for me, that's a change that is very important. But also then you see the graphics of Australia, This year they won the Ashes. This year they won the World Test Championships, right? And those 2 series were away from home, right?
They beat India in Abu Dhabi, most.
Exactly.
For the
No,
test
it
thing.
was England. It was in
England in
yeah,
Abu
in
Dhabi,
England.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, the World Test Championship was in England.
Oh, it was in England.
Yeah,
They beat
yeah.
India.
Yes. So they are fostering a winning culture. So come tournament time, when you get to the semi-finals, the request is simple: win.
And Sihle, the mentality shift of the Australian team when it came to that semi-final.
Man.
I said to you, these guys are looking at this thing. They just need to win 2 games.
Yeah. So give your all.
All.
The
And-
half
and-
chances you got to take.
I was
Body on the
working-
line and don't.
I was working and watching the semi-final because we betted first, mostly.
Yes.
Yes, we betted first because they were
They bowled so
fielding.
good.
Yeah, in that first power play overs, those first power play overs. In those first 10, it's power plays first 10, eh? And you
Yes, it's
saw
first
these
10.
guys, bro, the way they were attacking the power play, bro.
Yes.
The way they were placing the ball to us, the way they were playing that game.
Yeah.
You could
from
see
the
that now.
fielding positions
From
also.
everything.
Yes.
You could see that there was an attitude shift.
Yes.
There was a winning mentality now.
Yeah.
There was a drive coming out of nowhere. Look, they've had a CAC World Cup.
Yes, indeed.
But when it came to closing the show,
They did.
they showed their character.
They did.
And this is what we lack. We have it in rugby. That's what we have in
Unfortunately,
rugby.
it's lacking in cricket. And
Cricket.
when you say that, right? You mentioned the attitude and the drive. When we look back at the Australian teams, This one's not their greatest, guys.
It's not. It's not
this
even.
This one's not their greatest.
It's not even in the same bracket of their greatest teams which is put out there. But this is one of the teams that's actually won the World Cup and and wiped everything this season.
You know, and because when I was looking, Australia three-peated in terms of World Cups. They went 2003. 2000. They went 99. Yeah. 2003 and 2007. Right. That you would say is Australia's golden generation.
Golden era, basically.
These guys were not supposed to be.
They're not.
Where they are.
By Ebola. I mean,
you know what I mean? And as a South African, the irony of 2023, you got a glimpse of how the world feels about us in rugby.
Yeah.
They still don't believe that we should be world champions.
Yeah,
it's
the same
they
thing.
Still don't believe we should have gone back to back. And how we feel about Australians in cricket, I think that's what world rugby feels about South Africa.
See what and this is where I believe there's a motorbike. Where the guy's exiting.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's out here.
Yeah. Okay. This is where you believe?
So this is where I believe that this is the edge we need as SA cricket.
Yeah.
The wake-up call.
Yeah.
And I feel like our cricket at this current stage, they're just participating. They're not in it to win it.
And we've got the talent.
And the problem is, under Theba Bavuma, the rest of the team they had at the World Cup, those are world champions. Those should have been world champions. Every single player under Themba Bavuma should have been a world champion by now. Just on the way they approached the tournament.
Yeah.
Just on the way they played to the level of world champions. Okay. The problem is the leadership they had was not at world championship level.
I'll approach it in a different angle.
Okay.
Right? And I like how you went Themba Bavuma and below. Right? For me, the focus in South African cricket should be more on 19 cricket World Cup squads, right?
Which is soon, wasn't
it? So Sri Lanka lost the rights, so we're hosting next year, the under 19, right? The focus should be on the cricket, under 19 cricket World Cup, right? The more we win those tournaments, right? The more
we're producing
winners.
Winners.
We don't have an issue. We don't have an issue with producing talent, right? Now we need generations to come that have tasted winning, right? Because on one hand, guys will come through the system and win on the local circuit, and some might get IPL exposure and win there, right? But not enough are winning as a team and as South Africans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the more we win those under 19 tournaments, so we need to have more winners within our under 19 cricket World Cup ranks, because the more those kids win, that culture gets filtered upwards. It's a bit of unfair to ask someone who's never won in their youth to all of a sudden become a world champion.
Wow.
Yeah, because
you're going controversial, like.
Yes, because at the same time, right? You're gonna say, who are you going to be like? In soccer, we always refer to the 1996 class, right? That is a bar that has been set. I was saying, Guti, we need to have more World Cup winners and championships coming through the ranks at under 19. The more often we win that tournament, right, the more champions come into the national team, because you cannot ask our cricketers to become world champions when they haven't been in their junior ranks. And I'll just go through quickly the sporting codes. We have the class of 1996 in soccer. We've got the class of 95, 2007, 2019, and now 2023 in rugby. So when someone joins an Institute of Excellence, and we've touched on this in the past regarding Real Madrid and Barcelona, when they walk through those passages, they are looking at the history and seeing these gladiators. If those gladiators have reached the top of the world, it is easy to manifest
to go
and
back there.
and go back there because someone has done it. If you've then done it in your junior ranks, you know how it feels to be the best in the world in your age group. Reaching those levels again is not a dream, but it's a reality that you've lived.
You're actually quite correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is where we get it wrong in terms of South African sports,
Yeah.
the sporting fraternity,
Yeah.
is that we don't foster a winning mentality in our young ones.
Yes.
So what happens in soccer, for example, or cricket? You just need, let's say cricket. I think cricket has got a Craven Week as well, mustn't it?
Yeah.
So-
just forgot the name of
The thing. So the ultimate achievement for an SA cricketer is to play Craven Week, that tournament they play. Yeah. Then you get selected to play SA schools.
Yeah.
And then you do
The World Cup.
the franchise, whatever. There is no bar to say, your ultimate achievement is to win the Under-19 World Cup.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you can win with your own age mates, you'll be growing together for the next 10 years, Mos.
Yeah, true. Because the current crop, ne? Kagiso Rabada, Aiden Markram, and Andile
Yeah.
were part of the winning World Cup when they were 19.
99, under 19s.
Before them and after them,
There's been nothing.
yeah, it's been.
And
yeah, it's
here
been
is where I'm
dry.
going to go controversial with you, Sihle,
Preach.
is that the problem always comes in any job. So the people governing the sport, ne?
The tale of the South African administrator.
The administrators, and I'm going to make a living example. I don't know if you remember the last president before the second one, Nenzani, Chris Nenzani.
Yes, I remember Chris.
He was my teacher in high school.
Nyan.
Teaching history in my high school.
Wow. Listen,
He's a
it's
history teacher.
It's a weekend guy exclusive.
That's exclusive. He's a history teacher in my high school.
Wow.
Teaches history of all subjects.
Yeah, I
Then he
remember
becomes the
Chris.
president of SA Cricket.
Wait, let me ask this. Was he at least coaching the cricket team at your school?
Nope. When I was there, he was coaching rugby.
Wow.
His friend was coaching cricket.
So he wasn't even a cricket coach.
No, he was initially a rugby coach. But he became, I was shocked to see him on TV.
Yeah,
Like,
that
what the
he is
fuck?
leading the cricket fraternity.
Cricket SA president was my history teacher in high school. I didn't even do history. I knew he taught history.
Yeah.
So if you take my history teacher to become president of CSSA, do you think we are at that level to operate in the same level as Australia or India or whatever?
And also not to hate on people who are ambitious with careers and
So
are
no
changing.
hate, but
But, your track record should at least show a love for the sport,
You
your
see, here's where we
involvement
get it
in
wrong.
the sport.
Here's where we get it wrong, ne? And sorry, excuse me. I need to put this out there. Sorry. You expect to tell a Bavuma, ne?
Yeah.
To make such a decision which is beyond him psychologically
Yeah.
in any levels of qualifications. Because remember Temba only pushing matric at the end of the day.
I don't know.
We don't know, but there's nothing. I don't call you cricketer. You can only do matric. You don't go to varsity or something like that. Ne? But whereas the sport they're operating in, the environment they are in, requires to be directed by intellect, who are psychologically mature.
Wait, are you saying Temba's not smart enough to have his role?
He's not a coach. Yes, he's not a coach.
No, I'm saying captain. Temba's not
No,
smart enough to be
captain.
captain.
The team is the team.
Oh,
Not touching the team.
Okay, yeah, because look, I'm pro-black, so that man is there on
Don't
merit.
worry about that. We don't care about that. I'm saying to you, but the people beyond Temba, the coaches, the administrators, should have been should be at the level of making a sport decision which is backed by science.
But also that's the unfortunate part of South African sports as a whole.
Yes.
Uguti, in South African sports, there's political interference.
No, there isn't. No. In
There
rugby,
is.
no. This is not about politics. This is not about. No. Listen to. Give me a chance.
Okay.
Urasi, ne, has got a team around him of qualified sports analysts and qualified. There's a university. There's a degree called sports sciences.
Yes.
Urasi is
got the right
surrounded
individuals.
by individuals in the sports science field.
Yeah.
That field is a field on its own. It's a qualification you get on your own. Do you understand what I'm saying? Analysts, everything, because that's where we come in. We do the numbers.
Yeah.
He's got a numbers guy there.
Yeah.
He's got a team around him, even if rugby delayed his college career or whatever, he went to university. But it's around himself with statisticians and everyone, the relevant people.
Yeah, but cricket also does.
Yes, but are you sure cricket are actually at the... Because cricket and rugby are two different fields, but it's a sport at the end of the day.
Yes, right. I think the biggest difference, though, between South African cricket and South African rugby, right, is South African rugby has bought into a vision and a goal, right, and how to execute that goal. And the whole industry or the whole institution is pulling in one direction. South African cricket hasn't bought into that, right? And I'll put it this way, right? We look at transformation, right? SA rugby, right, has a history of a lack of transformation, but they then identified that the unions need to now produce world-class black players, right? SA Rugby has got it right in the junior ranks, right? Whereby we are producing world-class black players, right? And it's been enforced through the structures. So seeing world-class talents like Cheslin, Lucanio, Makozola is now not a surprise, right? Where cricket is lacking is Timber is the first consistent black batsman. No, not even captain, right? Batsman, right? And for me, that's an indication of how the recruitment and development, the health of the recruitment and development of black players in South Africa is.
So the crux of the problem here is SA cricket has lagged behind on transformation.
Yes, in terms of the overall cricket player.
Producing quality.
Yes, because bowlers has been a standard
they'll always
thing.
be there,
It's
but
a
these
standard
batsmen
thing.
as well.
We need batsmen, we need all-rounders, right? To be coming through the ranks, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's not just having black all-rounders or black batsmen. It's for us winning and world-class black players.
Yeah, you see,
right?
that's where they're lacking.
Exactly, because...
So we're fighting against... It goes back to what I said to you, that we're fighting against metric. Because remember, for you to be able to be at that level of planning in terms of understanding what you need to do, putting in a 10-year plan,
entire institution.
you need to have gotten to an institution to say you how those things are done. What is a business plan?
Yeah.
What is a player
Because
plan?
basically it is a business plan.
It is a business,
because
yeah.
How am I going to transform my business to produce?
If you don't have a plan to do it.
True.
Yeah, so essentially we're fighting against metric.
Yeah. And for me, that's where
I'm not hating.
No, I get it. That's where the next 4
Driver's
years
license.
is going to be interesting for Cricket South Africa. You know,
So in order for you to be an administrator at SA Cricket, just need to have a driver's license.
we need to raise the bar.
We need to raise it
the bar.
very, 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 very high. Because at the end of the day, we need strategic planners.
Indeed.
We need, what do they call them? Actuarists.
Yes. But also,
we need
right,
those kind of people.
something you mentioned earlier when we were talking offline, right, is we'll use the litmus test of Springboks, which is a world-class institution, right? And their next 4-year cycle, they already know which gaps to plug.
Of course.
Right? Because that's what happens when you've got meticulous planning,
Yes.
building depth and a clear plan going forward, right? With South African cricket, what is our 4-year cycle looking like? What is the plan? You
They will
know,
still find a finding. I saw that Utemba is 33.
Yes.
The
No,
top 5 is 30 something. And
Yeah,
then the
I
only,
think
the only
out of the
young
top
one
5,
is
probably Markram.
Markram is 29.
Yeah, and probably Miller King can be at the next World Cup because he's 31, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But for me, it's what is then the next generation looking like? And I look at the tournaments coming up, right? We've got the T20 World Cup in West Indies and USA next year in 2024. 2025, we've got the Champions Trophy, which is ODI tournament. And in between that, we've got then the next cycle of the World Test Championship. And what are we doing for the next 4 years? What is the clear plan, you know? Who are the individuals that will be identifying? Because not so long ago, right, we had 30-year-olds making their debuts or playing a role in the T20 World Cup. And for me, we should be using the T20.
That's fucking bullshit, dude, to be honest.
Yes, to be breeding
making a debut or what the fuck, bro. This shit is messed up. And you're looking at this thing wrongly.
Yeah.
This thing is messed up from the core.
So we got to fix it.
And the only way to fix it would be to sell the shares to SA Cricket to a private investor, and then they could wake the fuck up and see what needs to be done. Otherwise,
that's controversial.
No.
That's selling the national pride and property
Doesn't matter. The All Blacks are privately owned in portions.
Hey, we must keep South Africa in the hands of people.
Eskom, SAA,
our cricket should be in the hands of our people.
To be privatized a bit. Because at the end of the day, we are hyping up nonsense. So as I'm saying that, it needs, SA Cricket needs to rope in the right people for the right jobs.
Yeah.
Meaning that you need planners and so on and so on. Because sport on its own, cricket on its own is like a whole business. Okay, I'm going to go into this. It's a whole, like, what do they call this? The structures of business. It's its own line, basically.
Yes.
It needs the right elements in place
Yeah.
for us to build success. If you don't take it like that, we try and bring in my high school teacher to be the president. You can see that's not really quite going there because you need these advanced individuals who operate at the international level.
Yes.
For example, Urasi had the Irish guy.
What's his name?
Those guys got to get, you see what I mean? Yeah, those guys, those overseas guys.
To bring in a different perspective.
Yes.
But also to jump on to what you're saying, right? A typical example, we've tried so many T20 leagues, right? The SA20 got off to a rounding success because why? They got the right people in place.
Yes. You see the model, imagine SA20. That's the model. If those guys running the SA20, which is Graham Smith and his guys, whatever, if we take those guys now, put them in the national administration of cricket, we could win the World Cup with that kind of approach.
Yeah, because you've got Cricket SA, who's the custodian of the SA20, but the people who are running the operation and organization is, you could call them private.
Yes,
you know?
they are, yeah. And those guys are having a huge impact in the women's game as well.
Yeah. And for me, that's an approach I'd advise Cricket SA to take, you know, that we need to do better from our administration and planning in order to create world champions. Because it's not for a lack of talent.
No, it's
because
not.
South Africa has the talent to be champions on multiple occasions.
We have the means and capabilities. It just needs to be structured in a manner which will take us to success.
Exactly, and to highlight how much talent we have. If I'm not mistaken, just this past World Cup, right? Outside of South Africa, there were 24 teams. 24 players who formed or who are South African born, who are international cricket players right now.
Imagine they
playing for your Australias, your Englands, your New Zealands, you know? So it shows that, look, we have the talent. It just needs to be channeled the right way and nurtured correctly, but also then ultimately to perform on a world stage.
Do you think with the current model of rugby, Russia will be losing players now a lot like we were before?
No.
That shit is over.
Because rugby adapted to the times, right?
Yes, cricket is not.
And for me, right, it's a case of you have to identify that, okay, you've got the T20 monster, right, which for an individual coming into the cricketing world, it is your quickest way to get rich as possible, right? Then you have the traditionalists and the custodians and historians of cricket who want you to prove yourself in the test arena, right? That doesn't pay. That is tough on the body, tough on the family, because you're away for a long time. You're in the sun for 5 days. It doesn't get as much attention as the other forms of cricket, but that's where you hone your skills. You know, that is where you go and grind and become a world-class player, right? And ODI is then in between this, whereby you can hone those skills, and it's a test over time, because it's almost like, if I could use athletics as a comparison, right? T20 is the 100-meter dash. Quick, fast, out. It gets the attention. It's good, right? ODI is 400 meters. You got to be strategic. You got to pace yourself, and you got to know when to adapt to the race, right? Then the test is then a marathon. You cannot go quickly out the blocks. You got to pace yourself, know when to attack, when to slow down, when to increase the pace. So for me, there is room for all three. But more than anything else, we need to create world-class players across those formats. But the most important thing for me, outside of creating world-class players, we need to create winners. We need to
foster
win.
the winning mentality.
Yeah. And the shortest way to doing that is winning T20 and ODI World Cups. But especially T20, you know, because historically, West Indies has 2 T20 World Cups.
And we have zero.
Nothing. Come on. You know, as a proud cricketing nation, South Africa has 0 world titles since coming back into the sporting fraternity. Yeah.
ICC.
And that is so disappointing, because we've got 3 disciplines and we are not world champions.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
No,
It
that's
sucks.
not good enough.
You know, guys, if you enjoy this content, you guys enjoy what we say, guys, feel free to give us a comment down below. Feel free to give us your opinions down below on the state of South African cricket. You know, just feel free to give us on a like or whatever. Share this thing.
Subscribe, make a comment.
Guys. Just mingle with us, guys, and
tag Cricket SA.
Yeah,
I want
man.
to know what they think.
Maybe we might be some sort of external futurist consultants there.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. We're qualified in that department as well. So, guys, please feel free. Like this video, share the video, guys. TikTokers back. What is it? Repost on TikTok. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. I think that's it with cricket, mate. We're done.
Yeah. Shout out.
What else do you have for me today?
Okay, wait. Quick break. Drinks. Then we wrap up with international soccer. Okay.
Am I recording there?
Yeah, man. It's